Hey, today we're going to look at particle systems in After Effects, and we're going to be creating a little bit something like this. So text reveal with some added particle effects. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to start a new file, go to new project, new composition, and I'm happy with the settings here, 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to keep those and click OK. And to get started with particles, well, at first I could add background. So I would like to have a gradient background. So I'm just going to add layer new and a solid layer. And it could be dark gray solid for now. I'm just going to click OK. Go to FX and presets and type in ramp. So choose gradient ramp and drag it over the solid layer. Then I can set up my background. So I'd like to have the ramp shape to be radial. Choose the start color to be, I don't know, maybe pinkish purple, something like that. Make the end of ramp a bit bigger so we get a wider gradient. Choose the end color, I'm gonna make it something blue, and adjust the end of ramp some more maybe. So yeah, that's a nice gradient. Maybe adjust the width some more, so I could actually move it down by dragging this value and increasing this first end of ramp value. I could make it wider and maybe pull this down here. Alright, that's good. And then I could rename this solid layer. Let's make it background. Okay, and then I would like to have my first particle system. So I'm going to go to layer, new, and solid. And rename this layer to be particles. Everything else is fine. I'm just going to click OK. And then in the FX and presets menu, I'm just going to type in here particle. So there are a few types of particle systems you can find in After Effects. I like the CC particle world probably the best, so I'm just gonna activate that and drag it over the solid layer of particles. Now if you move on the timeline, you should be able to see the particle system at work. So currently it's emitting particles that are falling down. So I would like to adjust some of these settings. First, maybe I would like to adjust the width of the particle system, how wide this actually is. And I can find this this adjustment here. So radius X, if I increase that value, I can increase the width of the particle system, or rather the producer where the particles are emitted from. Now I would like to move this particle system down, so I'm just going to drag this value position Y, drag it down there, and I would like to have the particles rise up. So I'm going to go to physics and make the gravity negative. So negative 0.3 maybe. That's alright. Yeah. Then I could also adjust the position Z value, so I would have the particle system further away, maybe adjust the position Y and make the radius a bit wider. So now the particles are seeming to move a bit slower I could also adjust my timeline to be 10 seconds. I don't need 30 seconds at the moment, so 10 seconds is quite enough. Right, there we go. So now I have these subtle particles raising up from the bottom of the screen. Maybe they could rise higher, so then I could increase the longevity of the particles from here. So if I drag this value, longevity, I can see the lifetime of the particles is increased. So they live longer, they go higher. All right. Then there's the animation type for the physics. So currently it's explosive, but we could change it to twirl, for example, which produces this kind of effect. We could choose twirly, which is totally different, vortex, and fire. But I think twirl is good for now. Then I could increase the resistance to make it go slower. So increase the resistance a bit and increase the longevity as well. So we can see that particles are climbing higher, but they are slower and more dense maybe. Right, then I would like to have my particle system start at the correct point in time. So I would drag this layer to the left. So you can see the beginning of the particle layer is moved significantly to the left. So it behaves like this. And we got these nice atmospheric particles emitting from the bottom of the screen. Alright, so the next thing would be to have our text reveal. So I would like to have a text object that is revealed behind particles. So I would like to have a text layer. So I'm going to go up here to layer and new and choose text. And you could type in something like, I'm going to type motion GFX, motion graphics there, and then I would like to center it. So center it there, and then maybe go to align and align this object in the middle vertically as well. If you don't see the align tab here, you should be able to get it to show by going to the window menu and click on align. Right, so then I would like to maybe change the character. Now it's Times New Roman. Maybe I would like to go with something a bit more simple, like Calibri, and just fix the typo there, motion graphics. Right. And then maybe I could also set my text to be italic. So choose the text, or click here and press Ctrl A so you can choose everything and make it italic. Right. So then I would like to pre-compose this. So I would have to pre-compose this text layer. Coming down here where I have my text layer, I can right click and choose pre-compose. And click OK. And now I have my text layer pre-composed. And now I could apply a particle effect or particle system on this. So I'm just gonna go to effects and presets. Type in particle, and I'm gonna choose particle system, CC particle systems 2, drag that over this pre-comp. So that's going to hide. That's actually going to hide my text. And I would maybe like to have my text visible there still. So I'm going to click here and click on project to see what kind of compositions I have. So motion graphics comp 1, this would be the text. So I'm gonna activate and drag this down here and make it so that it's underneath the particle system. So for clarity, I could rename these. So the pre-comp with the particles could be particle text, and the composition with only the text could be text. Right. All right. So then I would like to have my my particle system move from left to right, so it would reveal this text eventually. So I would have to animate the position of it. So I'm going to choose particle text pre-comp, go to FX controls and open up the producer and set the position to be 0 here and click on the stopwatch, and let's move till, let's see, maybe 6 seconds, and click on the first number values on the position and type in 1920. So then we should have this animation. When you move on the timeline, the particle system moves from left to right, from the left edge to the right edge of the screen. All right, so then I would maybe like to adjust my particle system some more. So set the radius X, the X radius to be 1. Currently it's 3. And set the radius Y to be 30. So the particle system sort of covers the whole area where the text is. Then I would like to mask this, so I could come down here where it says particle and enable source alpha inheritance. So what this is going to do is make the particle system show up only where my text object is. And I could increase the birth rate here. So coming up here, make the birth rate like 44 or something, so I can see where my particles are. Alright, then I would like to adjust some of my particle settings some more. So I would like to have the particle type to be, let's have it cube. So there are these nice cubes. And maybe set the birth size to be a bit lower. So maybe make it like 0.02 or so. And depth size maybe a bit lower as well, 0.5. Max opacity, turn this from 75 to all the way to 100. And let's change the colors as well. Well, birth color could be, I don't know, could it be like that? And the death color could be sort of green, maybe that looks cool. The transfer mode, if I change this from composite to add, I have a lot brighter cubes, which might be a good idea to have. Maybe this increases the interest for the viewer to look at the middle of the screen. Next thing I could do is go to physics here and change the animation type from explosive. Let's make it fire. So with fire it looks like this. I could maybe make the velocity a bit lower. And increase the resistance, so then the fire wouldn't rise so high. So it would rise there. Maybe decrease the longevity as well. I don't want it to be that high. So I would like the fire animation to stop there, like sort of within the screen. I could add some extra. So it makes the animation a bit wider, nicer. What else? I could play with the direction. Doesn't really change that much. And yeah. Let's try. Maybe the opacity is a bit too high, so I'm gonna decrease it to 50%. Right. So currently it looks like this. I have my particles set up. I think I'm pretty happy with those. So now I could work with the text. So how I could reveal the text from underneath this particle system. So for that I would need an effect called wipe. Actually, linear wipe. So here's my transition, linear wipe, and I'm going to use it for this text pre-comp. So I'm going to activate the text pre-comp and drag and drop this linear wipe on that. Now I want my transition to start from, let's see, if I go in the middle and increase my transition completion value, I can see it's hiding it when the transition is completed. So maybe I want to go in the beginning and turn this up to 100. Click on the stopwatch, go to, was it 6 seconds, and decrease this to 0. And that works the wrong way around actually. So just gonna open this and open the effects and open the linear wipe to check if there are any keyframes. So I want the transition completion to be 100 here. And when the particle system has reached its end, maybe around here, I want the transition completion to be a 0. But it still seems like my transition is moving the wrong way around. So if I just change the angle and go up here, so that's better. So I gotta change my angle, maybe make it like -90, and then I gotta play with the keyframes. So I want the text to appear once the particle system has passed that point. So kind of like that. That's what I wanted. So pull the keyframes so that you can match the position of of the particle system with the wipe. So there you go. Right, so the last part would be to have a particle system that follows a path along the screen. So how could we have this path thing, sort of particle trail being drawn here across the screen? Let's try that out. So first I'm gonna need a null object, so I'm just gonna have my particle trail appear after this this particle system revealing the text has finished. So I'm gonna need a null object, going up here to layer and new, and choose null object, and maybe move it up on the stack and open it up. And then I'm just going to choose the pen tool here. So click on the pen tool, add a point there, add a point here, add another one here, and the last one here. So that's my path. I'm going to use this. I'm going to open up masks for the null object. Open mask, click on mask path, and press Ctrl C to copy. And close the masks, open up transform, click on position, and press Ctrl V to paste. So now I have pasted this, and the null object follows the path. So for sake of clarity, I could just remove the masks layer from the null object now. So activate the mask layer and press delete. Alright, so I'm left with this null object moving around here. So maybe I could have the starting point a bit earlier. Right about there where my last particle system is fading away. I could have it here, and then it disappears. Maybe you could move a bit slower so it disappears right at the end. So we would have this additional thing moving across the screen. Right, so the null object is set up. It's got the movement. Then we're gonna need our particle system. So once more, I'm gonna go up here and go layer, new, and choose solid. And I'm gonna rename this to be particle path, and click OK. And click here, effects and presets, type in particle and choose CC particle world, and drag it over to particle path solid layer. So then this particle path should now have the information coming from null following the path. So we're gonna have to use expressions here. So opening up the producer, I'm gonna hold down Alt and press on the position X stopwatch. So hold down Alt and click on the stopwatch icon here on position X. That's gonna open up my panel here, so I can write an expression. And I'm gonna have these expressions in the video description. So just gonna copy and paste these. So copy the first one and paste it here. Basically it takes the information from null1, where the X position of the null1 object is, how it's moving sideways, and you can see the particle system is already moving sideways together with the null1 object. Then we can hold down Alt and press position Y, and we're going to need the next expression. So copy and paste this. Gonna have it here, paste it there, and now we should have the Y motion as well. And if there's Z motion in your path, if you have a 3D object, then you could have this one. So copy this, hold down Alt and press position Z stopwatch and paste this here. Now there's going to be an error. This project contains an expression error. We can avoid this by making the, making the null object a 3D object. Yeah, that's going to solve our error. So now the particle system follows the null object. Now we need to just set up the particle system to look nicer. So I'm just going to adjust it. Maybe open up the particle menu first. Choose the particle type to be, let's see. Let's have faded sphere. And make the birth size a bit smaller. And choose a different color for it. So make it, let's make it pink. Maybe pink gets a bit hidden there. So also increase the opacity, make it green maybe or something. Whatever you like. I mean, you should make a variation of this anyway, so don't follow my lead too much. Okay, I would maybe like to have some more particles, so increase the birth rate, like so. And then maybe the physics type. So open up the physics tab and make this, let's see, what could it be? What could it be now? What if I set it to fire? Yeah, fire is alright, I think. If I decrease the gravity, I can get the fire go lower like that. And maybe add some resistance so it doesn't fall apart that much towards the end. What else? I could increase the extra value to have it like this. Gives it a nice depth. And maybe the colors, actually I could make a custom color map, because I maybe want more vibrant colors, cooler colors. Click on the drop down menu for color map and choose custom. And change the colors. So I'm gonna make something nicer and more interesting. I have all kinds of different colors there. Just something to pop out. Okay, that's nice. So then I could change the transfer mode to add. That also makes it brighter. Makes the particle system pop out. Or let's try, what if I try screen? Okay, that's a bit milder. Screen is a bit milder, but is it the same as composite? No, I'm gonna go with screen because there's the brightness but it's not, it's more subtle than from the ad. So that's really good. Let's see, the depth size could be a bit bigger, and maybe the size variation could be increased as well. So I got this sort of nebula feel to this, which is nice. What else could I change? I think it looks pretty good. If I increase the whole particle release value, I can keep the particles even more together in the beginning, maybe. Let's see how it plays out. So there's the text reveal, and then my particle system flies past the text. All right, that's really good. And I think we're done here with this lecture. So now your task would be to make your own YouTube channel titles, for example. Have some sort of text being revealed, and then have particle effects using path and atmospheric particles there. Try out different things with the particle systems, see what you can do with the settings, and post your work. Render it out as a video and post it online.